Veteran CNN producer John Griffin, no doubt a relative of Peter Griffin, who worked shoulder to shoulder with Chris Fredo Cuomo, has now been indicted and arrested on charges of wanting to have sex with minors.
Imagine my shock.
People ask me all the time, "Hey Brian, do you really use that keto elevate stuff and does it really work?" The answer is yes and yes. Never in my entire life have I lost body fat so quickly. Not even in my prime at 25, which is over 25 years ago. I'm approaching 54 this year. If you want to support the channel and do your health a favor, grab some with my link in the description. This was reported today. And guys, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many people involved in what's just sex training, sex trafficking, whatever you want to call it. This is reported by the New York Post. Chris Cuomo, CNN producer, charged with luring girls for sexual training. This is mind-blowing, guys. This is mind-blowing. And then you think about Ghislaine Maxwell and why did they make the Kyle Rittenhouse trial go viral, but we're not hearing anything coming out of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. And then when you do try to tell people what's going on with the trial, like that trial tracker on Twitter, they take it down. What's going on? The veteran CNN producer who works shoulder to shoulder with now disgraced ex-anchor Chris Cuomo has been indicted on charges of luring young girls to his Vermont ski home for sexual subservience training. What the frick? John Griffin of Stamford, Connecticut, allegedly used messaging apps to befriend and persuade moms of young girls, telling them, quote, a woman is a woman regardless of her age, and that she should be the one to train her daughters sexually, according to the indictment from the U.S. Attorney of Vermont. Now, a lot of people turn their minds off on this and go, oh, yeah, this is CNN. Go after him. Go after him. This U.S. District Attorney, the U.S. District Attorney's office is corrupt. Law enforcement agencies are corrupt. FBI, CIA, whoever would get involved to try to bring this guy to justice has their own problems in their own department. So I take a lot of this stuff with a grain of salt. I'm of the mind that I don't doubt that Griffin did this. And I don't doubt that the FBI or the CIA or the DEA or the U.S. Attorney of Vermont, all these people getting involved, I don't doubt that these people would be in on something like this kind of thing. Because we've seen time after time after time that old adage is true. Power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. Griffin, 44, allegedly got at least one mom of two daughters to bring the girl to his Ludlow ski getaway in June of 2020. What is wrong with you, Mom? What is wrong with you? I promise I'll give you a lot of money if you let me exploit your daughter. Who are you, Mom? It was the mom's responsibility to see that her older daughter, just 13, was, quote, trained properly, Griffin told her, according to the indictment. Griffin, a father himself, what the heck? The plot thickens. Sent the woman $3,000 for plane tickets so they could fly from Nevada to Boston's Logan Airport, where he picked them up in his Tesla for a ride to Ludlow, according to court papers. Here's Chris Cuomo and this Griffin guy. How deep does it run? How many stories can be told? How many kids have been exploited? How much money has been made through this sex trafficking? How many politicians are in on it? How many teleprompter readers are in on it? Why are they covering up the story? They call themselves journalists. You'd think they would be the ones on the front line spearheading the campaign to out all these people, but they're not. It was there that, quote, the daughter was directed to engage in and did engage in unlawful sexual activities, authorities alleged. Griffin attempted to entice two other children over the internet into sexual activity, according to the indictment, which said he favors apps like Kik and Google Hangout for the alleged misdeeds. In April 2020, Griffin allegedly suggested a, quote, virtual training session over a video chat that would include him instructing a mother and her 14-year-old daughter to remove their clothing and
touch each other. If that's true, if that's what this guy's all about, he's a freaking sicko. But you know what? Birds of a feather flock together. Chris Cuomo? What they call Fredo? In June 2020, Griffin told another mom of a 16-year-old girl that she take, quote, little mother-daughter trips to Griffin's Ludlow ski house for sexual training involving the child, according to the indictment. Griffin was arrested by FBI agents after a federal grand jury in Vermont charged him with 3 counts of attempting to entice minors to engage in unlawful sexual activity. I wonder if CNN's going to cover this. This is one of their own. On his LinkedIn profile, which I looked at, I guess you got to sign up for LinkedIn or whatever. Griffin boasts of having worked, quote, shoulder to shoulder with lead anchor Chris Cuomo, seeing him through each show and producing live breaking news across the country and around the world. They worked together during Cuomo's 5 years as co-anchor of CNN's A New Day. Griffin, who calls himself a father on his Twitter feed, that's just sick. Mom, where's Dad? Oh, he's in jail for trying to sexually exploit little girls. Oh, God, you're kidding. This guy is going to ruin his family because he can't keep his sexual perversion under control? How deep does it go? How deep? How far down the rabbit hole does this thing extend? Calls himself a father on his Twitter feed and appears to have 3 young children, worked at CNN for almost 9 years. Prior to that, he held producing positions at Always Broadcasting Crap, Faux News, and Continual BS. Griffin described himself as an entrepreneurial producer who combines uncommon technical skills, you don't say, with exceptional experience, honed editorial judgment. You're lacking a little bit of judgment here, bud. You got perverted judgment. Always with an eye toward, how can we do it better? How can we exploit more children? How can we manipulate more mothers and get more of them into my ski home? How can we move forward? How can we add value to the audience? The government will seek to take the property. See, here's the deal right here. This is almost like, okay, what kind of projection are we dealing with here? Because I'm not for government intrusion of any kind. I think that street justice and a trial by jury of your peers should take place. But the government getting involved, that'd be like the Capone family trying to move in and indict the Gambino family as though the Capone family weren't criminals themselves. The government, the criminal organization known as government, will seek to take the property used in the alleged crimes, including Griffin's Ludlow ski house, his Tesla, and a Mercedes, according to the indictment. That's it? Really? Griffin faces a mandatory minimum of 10 years in jail on each count, while people like Juicy Smollett get a slap on the wrist and has to do community service. And remember that Duggar kid that grew up and he supposedly had child porn on his computer? He can be charged, if he gets charged on both counts, it's 20 years and $250,000 on each count. And Juicy Smollett gets to go free.
Hey guys, we know with the way things have been going, it can get really interesting really quick. So make sure you and your family have a long-term storable food supply. Support the channel and get $50 off with my link in the description while you still can.